Are Arsenal fans the most insufferable in the league?
You know what, Arsenal fans, because as a London United supporter, I'm around more of them, and it's hard. It gets hard.
I think the only way that something to get the Glazers' attention to happen again is for another Liverpool incident to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen again.
The Glazer one, it's frustrating because, like I said, it doesn't feel like we can get at them in any kind of way.
Just the experience of going to a Manchester United game, year on year, has just kind of got worse. And Ineos have unfortunately played a massive role in that. Yes, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of the United People's Podcast. It's me, it's Dan, it's Nick. We're here twice a week and we're in good spirits after the Arsenal game. We've got Fulham coming up. I'll tell you what's on the pod today. We're going to be speaking about Arsenal fans and the reaction from Arsenal fans this week. We're going to speak about the injury to Dorgu. How do you replace him in the team? We'll speak about the protest that's going to be going ahead of the Fulham game. We'll be speaking about the Fulham game. We'll be speaking about Carrick and everything else in between. You can let us know what you think in the comments on the pod, as always, if you want to get involved. But Nick, are you still on cloud nine after Arsenal?
A bit, yeah. Like, you know what's funny, right? So, like, I've still not watched the match of the day highlights. So I've done the
you're still
3-minute
keeping
highlight. Yeah, I'm still I'm still holding on to that, so I can use it maybe probably tomorrow is probably the last day I can do that.
Wait, how much do people watch Match of the Day now? Like, it used to be like religious. You had to watch Match of the Day. Like, I can't remember the last time I watched Match of the Day.
I sometimes, well, in a case like this where we've played well and won, I'll watch it because it's the extended highlights. You get the interview afterwards. They chat about the game afterwards. It's a cozy 20 minutes of just feeling good about yourself. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like I'm robbing myself of it, man. I need to go back. I need to go back into Match of the Day now we're winning.
I always tend to watch it when it's like when I'm at home with my dad. Like, I don't know if it's an older thing, but after, say if it's a 3 p.m. game or even 3 p.m. game, my dad will always be like, or a 5:30 game. Oh, let's watch it later. Let's get it on Match of the Day. I was like, you can just watch it now, 2 minutes.
Mate, it was classic. Mate, it was a proper thing to do. I used to remember like recording it and I had to watch it in the morning on Sunday because I was never allowed to stay up for it. I used to love that shit. I wanted to speak about Arsenal fans, right? There's no point in having a conversation about the Arsenal game. We've done all of that. But like, are Arsenal fans the most insufferable in the league? Question is that's the question to the audience, right? A question to you now. I'll come to you, Nick, first, because I always thought it was Liverpool fans. I really did, but I mean, Arsenal fans go toe to toe. Like this sort of, like, lads, you've not won the league in 20 odd years. Like, lads, like Arteta's literally won an FA Cup since he's come in. Like, lads, you permanently come second. Like,
And that big Community Shield. Can't forget about that.
Mate, they have got some gas, man. They have got some gas, and they're full of beans still after bloody losing. Nick, what's up?
You know what? On the topic of who's the most insufferable out of Liverpool and Arsenal, because for us as United fans, it probably, for me anyway, it is them too. Because City fans, they're not loud. Chelsea fans, yeah, they're loud, but yeah, I can kind of, it's fine. But Arsenal and Liverpool are probably the top two. For me, it's whoever the better team is at that time, which
It swings.
yeah, it swings exactly. Like I don't know, watch along.
No, fuck that, Nick. No, get off the fence. Choose.
You know what, Arsenal fans, because as a London United supporter, I'm around more of them, and it's hard. It gets hard.
Nick, so Dan, what do you reckon?
Liverpool fans. But maybe it's because I'm based Manchester Northwest.
Mate, it must be a regional thing, right?
Yeah,
it must
I think
be.
so. Because what's it for you, Sam? Because I know you hate Chelsea more than Arsenal, don't you? But
Yeah, but I hate Chelsea because they're just a bunch of twats. Arsenal, I lived with an Arsenal fan at using. I always remember this. Nas, right? We won 8-2. It was that time we won 8-2. This motherfucker still had gas. Like, they just lost 8-2.
after that,
Just lost 8-2. And still, he's coming at me with energy in every arm. I'm like, dude, like, where? Just go in the corner. Just take your medicine and shut. But nah, insufferable. Never ran out of gas. Question I want to ask you here, right? This will be a fun one. Can you name the starting 11 from Carrick's first game where he beat Arteta 3-2 in 2021?
Done. De Gea was in goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, done.
Maguire, Lindelof, centre backs.
Oh, bang, bang. He's got in 3 for 3.
Shaw left back.
Oh, Dan, you coming and fucked it all up. That's not sure.
Was it Alex?
Oh,
Telles?
yeah.
Oh, Nick.
Wow.
Dirty.
I should just let
4
Nick
for
take
4.
over it.
Yeah, Dan, you're getting mugged off here. You're getting mugged off. Who's right back? That's an easy one.
Do you want to go, Dan? I think I know it, but I'll just...
Cotton, Dan.
I'm second guessing myself there.
It's easy because he still plays for
It's
United.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, Delo.
Yeah.
oh, I was gonna go Wan-Bissaka, to be fair.
There you go. Would have got that wrong. Right, midfield three.
So Fred,
Yeah,
McTominay.
yeah, there he is.
Bruno,
Boom. Right, front three.
right? Was it Ronaldo, Rashford?
And is it the
One
name
more.
that shall not be said?
Nah.
No, it's not that one.
Well, nah, not really. He's a bit of a dick, but he's not Voldemort.
Right wing,
Arguably worse. United's worst ever signing.
Anthony.
Nah,
No.
the other one.
No,
Green.
Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho. The fact that you can
Wait,
put
hold on,
two,
wait.
fact that you can put
Who's
two
the one-
names forward for that. That's dead.
Hold on, who's the one who shall not be
Greenwood.
named then?
Greenwood, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Come on.
That's a bad oversight for me. My head goes to Sancho. It's worse.
Anyway,
All right.
yeah, Dan, you got mugged off there, but that's all right. We'll take that. Good ball knowledge. When we're doing the next UPTV pub quiz, Nick, you're on my team. Dan, you're going somewhere else. Look, right, let's move on to this weekend because we'll speak about the Fulham game itself. There's probably the main story I think we should talk about news-wise this week is Dorgu, man. It is, look, Nick, you actually said it. Like when you watched him pull up, he was holding his hamstring before he was on the ground, so it didn't look like he was pulling up a cramp. Ends up being, I mean, a 10-week hamstring injury is quite a bad one, isn't it? Right? Like that's
like tier 3.
That's him, like on paper, coming back April the 11th, which realistically, let's be honest, it's not him. Maybe back for the start of May at the same sort of level that he was now. So he's going to be back for what? I don't know when the season ends this season, but I'm guessing a few games. It's basically a season over. Mate, football's harsh, man. Like he's up for Premier League Player of the Week. I think he won it. He's up for United's Player of the Month. I think he'll win it, deservedly so. And he's had to sort of bide his time. It's sort of Nick. There's not really a sort of positive you can put on this. There's no pep talk you can give him. It's just that's fucking cruel.
It's utterly like gut wrenching. It's probably the way I'd probably say it. Like it's it's footballing wise, it's probably the best week of his life. Like in terms of his football career, those 2 games that he's had, Man City and Arsenal, he's not going to have a better 2 weeks than that. And even the last month, he's been really good, really kicking on. We lose a lot with Dorgu out. A lot of intensity, a lot of physical duels, a lot of tracking back, and also sort of getting narrow and helping us defend. It's really, really frustrating. And also, like, he is a player who does rely heavily on his physicality, on his pace, on that explosiveness. So that also hurts. So even when he does come back, we're not going to get the same... Basically, for the rest of the season, we're not getting the same Dorgu that we just saw over the last month.
Yeah, I think it's season over, really. It's season over then.
Yeah, and Cunha can come in and replace him, but he's like Nick said, he's not got the same explosiveness as Dorgu. I don't think anyone... I can't think of anyone who can have that same explosiveness on that left side. You've got Ahmad on the right, obviously, but it's a little bit of a different type.
Oh, wait, we'll speak about that a little bit later because we'll run through the starting 11 for that we think for the Fulham game, and it's going to probably be the biggest question that Carrick's got now is like how do you replace? Because there are different options you could have, but mate, it sucks balls. It really, really sucks for him, and it sucks for United because he's probably our informed player, really. I'm guessing so.
Yeah, I think so. I remember saying that on the pod on Sunday with the informed team in the league, and he's the informed player in the league, maybe, or for United at the moment.
United fans, but we all know this, mate. You're not allowed nice things. Like,
No, yeah, yeah, that's true.
Mate, we pissed the world for too long in the 90s and 2000s, man. Like seriously, the comeuppance for real. But before the Fulham game, something important that we need to talk about is a protest from 1958. So it's going to be happening starting at 1 p.m. Dual start points. One's outside Hotel Football. One is at the top of Sir Matt Busby Way. And it's going to be converging at the Trinity statue. No doubt United are going to put out plenty of police. They're going to try and disrupt it. It's kind of what they do. They always put on extra police. I wanted to get your lads' opinions on kind of what the 1958, not really what they've been doing so far, but kind of where we are now. And because they had a protest before, I think it was on Jim Ratcliffe, got a lot of backlash. I think it was to do with the messaging behind it. And then they ended up cancelling it. And they're bringing it back now. Now, I've spoken with them and I've worked with them at the beginning. I remember I was there for the Liverpool protest. I think what they've managed to do is organise a lot of good protests in ways that just a sort of united fan representative group, whatever you want to call them, haven't been able to do before. But like Nick, where do you sort of stand on the protests now? On, I suppose, the power of the protest, because protest does have power. I don't think we'll ever reach what we did when we got the Liverpool game cancelled. That was a once in a lifetime achievement, I think, for that protest to manage to storm Old Trafford, all completely peaceful, and to get the game cancelled caused a massive ripple effect. I don't think we'll get there again, but like, how much power do you still see in protest, Nick, and how important do you think it is that United fans turn up in numbers?
It's frustrating because it doesn't feel like we can hurt the like. Ultimately, this is all mostly anyway targeted at the Glazers. I didn't fully understand why the Sir Jim Ratcliffe ones came around. Didn't quite get that one, and like you said, it was cancelled in the end because of the backlash from that. But the Glazer one, it's frustrating because, like I said, it doesn't feel like we can get at them in any kind of way. Like, they're in their own little bubble in Florida or wherever it is that they live, and it just feels like they're not really that bothered by what happens here. We cancelled a game, like you said, the Liverpool game. Like, I don't think we could. Like, I remember actually I think during that time there was stuff going around on Twitter in terms of they were putting out their companies on and their Google reviews and basically telling United fans to go and leave a whole bunch of like Google reviews under the businesses that fall on the Glazers.
Yeah,
that maybe hurt them, or that's maybe a more direct way you can get at them. But the frustrating thing is, I don't feel like they care, and that's quite a pessimistic view to have on what's going on Sunday. And I don't think that all United fans should see it that way. I don't think that should affect how the 1958 go about it or how other protest groups go about it, because we as fans, our voices should be heard in that aspect. But it's just, like I said, it's just the frustration of feeling like the Glazers are so far away and in their own little bubble that we can't get at them.
When it comes to 58, I think what they massively represent, of course, is match-going fans. And the truth is, when it comes to a lot of the damaging stuff that Ineos have done, those that go to the games have probably felt it more. In terms of a selection of United fans, have felt it more than anyone else. Whether it was the ticket price rises that were unannounced last year, whether it's the fucking abomination of actually getting into Old Trafford these days and how long it takes, like all the turnstile shit, the NFR codes. They probably have been hit with more sanctions. I don't know what I would have called it, or more mistakes that Ineos have made have had more of a ripple effect on match-going fans. Like European away collections, I think, ended up getting cancelled. And then the fucking touts ended up coming back in. Just the experience of going to a Manchester United game, year on year, has just kind of got worse. And Ineos have unfortunately played a massive role in that over these last 18 months. Like, Dan, you've seen ticket, you go regularly with your dad. Like, how do you two see it?
I think the most frustrating part about this, on Jim Ratcliffe's side especially, is that he's from Manchester, he's from Failsworth, like, he knows what it's like to be a Mancunian and support United, and like we're still living in a cost of living crisis that's going on, and he, for some reason, hasn't got that in his head, and it's all just about money. So I feel like obviously normal fans haven't taken to that well, because if you're expected to pay £75 or what is it, £65 to watch Burnley at home or Everton at home or Wolves at home, it's just not affordable. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration's gone at Sir Jim Ratcliffe on that, I think.
Well, Nick, to go back to your point there, but I think you're right. The Glazers are they're just got rhino skin, man, because they can disassociate from it. So I know it's not directly going to probably have an impact on how they view it, but it doesn't mean that you have to sit in, and you should sit in silence. I wish there was a way that we could figure out, like a way to properly attack their businesses. No, attack might be the wrong word, but like rich people, you're going to hit them where it hurts. It's their fucking wallet, man. It's either their wallet or their ego. Now, Jim, you can hit with the ego. He actually gives a shit what you say about him. He cares. Like, if you walk around with a banner that's got a butt-naked Jim Ratcliffe on it, he's going to be pissed off. It's going to really affect Jim Ratcliffe. Do that the same with the Glazers, they'll just turn around. They won't care. So there's different ways that you can probably approach it with both. I don't know how in the world you do it. Maybe we should, like, organise something. I have no idea.
I think the only way that something to get the Glazers' attention to happen again is for another Liverpool incident to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen again, because It was in COVID. No one could go in. Like tourists, they would already be in the stadium when it would be happening. Like all of these protests that happen with clubs over time, where they'll stay outside for 15 minutes and then go in. What's the point? Because you're still going in and paying.
People talk about like boycotting Old Trafford as if it's like the easiest thing in the world. It pisses me off every single time, man. It's because United is a global club. Like people compare it, I think, to like when AC Milan's fans did it. And so if you were to go and do a straw poll of 1,000 AC Milan fans, 850 of them are going to live within a 10-mile radius of Milan. If you do that at Old Trafford, you're going to see a family that's come over from Singapore for the day, a busload of people that have come from Dublin. Someone's come. They're just the Old Trafford is just a complete, just mix of all these different types of fans who are all there for different reasons, and you're not really going to ever like. You could, in theory, you could get 55,000 season ticket? I think it is something like that. You could get all those to come out, but then all those 55,000 season tickets are probably shared out among family and friends as well. It's the idea of boycotting Old Trafford sounds wonderful on paper, but the reality of that is some sort of military level organisation, let alone 1958. I don't know how in the world you get that communication out. I just don't think it's ever going to really happen. But yeah, if you're going on Sunday, 2 p.m. is kickoff, 1 p.m. is when the protest starts, outside hotel football or top of St Matt Busby Way. That's that. But let's talk about the game itself. Fulham. Is beating Fulham a bigger result for Carrick than beating Arsenal or City? Because that's what I'm hearing some United fans say and feel, and I can see some nods coming here. So I'm coming to you first, Nick. But on paper, of course, it's not bigger than City or Arsenal. But in reality of how United fans feel, and we've been here before with new manager bounce, and it is a new manager like bounce to the moon. Like we've just beaten City and Arsenal. You're not going to get a bigger new manager bounce than that. But Fulham at Old Trafford, you're pointing at that going, we played Wolves at Old Trafford, we played Everton, we played West Ham, we played Bournemouth. I've fucking seen this story. Do you think it's bigger if we do beat Fulham? Is it going to, in your own mindset, are you going to believe more in Carrick after if hypothetically we get that right result and performance against Fulham?
The thing is, right, so what's been going around this last week is, but new manager bounce, but United always get up for the big games. So that's the part of me that goes, yes, a little bit, because I've seen that script before. I've seen it before where we can beat the bigger sides. Where I'll push back on that a little bit is that I think we beat them quite impressively, both of them. And I think the way we went about it was really good. So I think that's what you can separate from times gone by when it's been a little bit more snatch and grab. But why I think, yes, this could be bigger for Carrick is because of what you just alluded to there. West Ham, Everton especially, Bournemouth, that was horrid. Even Brighton in the cup. Those are the games where United, in the last 5 years, those are the games where we've let ourselves down. It's those mid-table teams that are going to come and play a mid-block, low block, be reactive upon what you do, and you're the protagonist in that game. It's those games that we've seen us be let down. And actually, I think also it's been those games that the players themselves have let themselves down, because we've seen worldy performances out of them, like I said, against the bigger teams, and then they've not been able to produce the same against the lower sides. So that's for me the reason why, and I think that's the reason why a lot of fans are saying that this Fulham game is possibly, for Carrick's case, in terms of wanting to go beyond this summer, why this could be bigger than an Arsenal game where we've seen that a little bit before. One
thing we should say here is Fulham are 7th, people. Like, it's not as if like Fulham are down bottom of the table. Like, I know it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy season. I think they've won 2 out of the last 5 games, but it's not going to be... We're not going into this in the same way that we were going into maybe a game against Burnley or a game against Wolves. We still didn't manage to beat Burnley. We still didn't manage to beat Wolves. Fantastic news. But Fulham are 7th, so it's kind of the first thing to say. I'm not here coming with excuses, but there is no guaranteed 3 points in the Premier League anymore. It just doesn't exist. It really doesn't. It's like the worst team you've ever seen was Wolves away, and we go and draw against them at Old Trafford. You think, fucking great. Yeah, brilliant. Top news. So if you can't do it against them, then you're never going to get a guaranteed 3 points. Michael Carrick at Middlesbrough, his team had, I think, 3rd highest average possession in the Championship. That's how Carrick wants his team to play. We've not played like that in these first 2 games. We've played a different approach. Control without the ball. It's control with the ball, which we've struggled with the most. And I think that's what United fans are looking for against Fulham. What do you reckon?
I think that having your creators in there, so your Mounts, your Brunos and Cunhas are going to be vital for this. And it's for them to take that next step up from trying to break a team down under Amorim to breaking a team down with Carrick. So if Middlesbrough have got 3rd% highest, or they did have in the Championship possession stats, I want to see that in play by them 3 creators on Sunday. I want Cunha to show why he should be starting most games. I know Dorgu's injured now, but ahead of Dorgu, especially in these types of games breaking down a low block, because I'm so frustrated the amount of times, and you've listed the games there, how many times we go into games against these types of clubs, the lesser clubs, and we can't get a result because we can't break them down. This has been an issue for the past 5 to 10 years.
I'll say to both of you here, what do you think is the best way to break down a low block? Like, because if I was to look at it, one way that I think is quite effective is really good whipped crosses into the box that you can kind of get over this low block. Obviously, if you're going to need the right people in the box, I'm not just saying do a David Moyes and swing 81 crosses in, but that's kind of a way to get past the low block a little bit. But then you're kind of firing into a box that's got 6-7 players, and you're probably not going to win the ball. Like, what would you say, Dan? I'll come to you first, and Nick after. But if you were to say one tactic, one approach, what do you think is the best way to break a low block down for Carrick?
I think crosses is a good part. It's finding the balance, because you don't want to be passing all along the edge of the box like we've seen so many times this season. That's why I think if you get a cross, the second balls, it's weird because when you break a team down, you don't think about second balls. But the second balls, the knockdowns, they're so important. Like, if you get the ball into the box, however you want to get it in, just make sure you're on the end of that second ball. And it's easy for me to say you can just cross it. I know you've got to have a good cross, but that's what you've got to do. Look for that second ball and try and win it as best as you can. Because if we don't, you have Yakuba Minter, like we did against Brighton. I know we won that game actually, but on the counter attack, going 100 miles per hour towards the Stretford end. So I don't really want that.
Nick, what do you reckon? Do you agree?
Yeah, agree largely. That is like one of the go-to ways to start the sort of the phrase "flood the box." That's kind of where it comes from. But I also think overloads out wide, try to suck them into one side, and then the quick switch or the quick pass centrally to then get it out to the other side really quickly. It's a lot of fast, quick balls being played on the first touch. There's got to be a lot of that. But in this particular case as well, one thing I'll say about Fulham is we've got to physically impose ourselves because they're not the strongest side in that sense. A little bit frustrating that Iwobi's back for them because he's a player that for some reason always turns up against United, and we could do without him this weekend.
I'm guessing Oscar Bob's going to start for him. Is his move going to be completed?
Well, we got the hit we go from Fabrizio today, so the 28th of Jan on Wednesday. So it'd be, I think it's too quick of a turnaround. And the other thing I would say is, if I'm Antonio Silva, I'm looking at my midfield 3 of Kevin, Wilson, and Smith Rowe.
Antonio Silva, who's that? Is that Marco Silva's cousin?
Oh, sorry. Antonio Silva. I don't know why I called that one.
Sounds like a sick manager name, though, to be fair. I'll take that.
Mate, you'd sign him on like Football Manager of some sort of region.
Oh, mate. I'm glad you pulled me off on that. I don't know where I got that from. But
he was in the moment. He was in the flow there. He's like, Antonio Silva.
But I am looking at, so Smith Rowe through the middle, Wilson on the right, and Kevin on the left. And I'm kind of thinking I don't really need to disrupt that because they're playing quite well. So I don't think Oscar Bob will start. But yeah, like I said, you need to physically impose yourselves and also set pieces. These lot are not good at defending set pieces. We've scored a bunch of them.
But the real question about the starting 11, we all know. How are you replacing Dorgu? Because I think your main option is Cunha going into left inside 10. But something that Dan mentioned there, which could be an option. You could play Ahmad there. And you could play Mbumo on the right. Or play Mbumo through the middle. And you could play Cunha on the right. So that Ahmad then tucks in and becomes that left narrow. If you're dropping into the 4-4-2 out of possession, like we have done against City. That's what I mean. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same approach in and out of possession. Nick, would you expect a lot of similarities? Or would you expect United to kind of operate a bit differently in this game?
It's different because I feel like, well, it's difficult because I feel like Carrick so far, like what you said earlier about Middlesbrough and how he kind of wanted to set up at Middlesbrough. I don't know if we'll ever see him try to implement a tactical style while he's the caretaker of United until the end of the season. But what I think what we will see is him being pragmatic and setting up depending on the game. So I still expect us to defend in a 4-4-2. What I think we might see potentially, but I don't know because Bruno is really good as the front two press. But imagine so Cunha would start on the left and left wing is his attacking position in possession. But then imagine when we drop into a 4-4-2, Bruno is the one that goes out there because he's comfortable tucking in, and then Cunha and then Bumo are your two up top to press. Because if you win it back, those two are probably the two you want closest to goal. There's different things he can try here. Then there's also an argument to say, actually, you might want Sesko in this game. You want his height.
Well, you mentioned set pieces, and I've mentioned crosses, and I'm looking towards Sesko, right?
Yeah, there's a world where that could happen as well. So there's a few things he could try here. There are.
What are you expecting then? Get your predictions in for that starting 11. What's your front four?
I'm still going to go with what's been there and then just swap out Dorgu and Cunha. Because I think if it's working, I think we might just stick with it.
So Cunha on the left, Bruno in the middle, and Amad on the right.
Because also, I don't expect Fulham to be low block the whole game. Like, they will come out mid-block. They're not opposed to pressing you sometimes as well. I think there are moments where we can get runners in behind, and that's where you want your Mbeumo, your Amad, and your Cunha as well.
What about you, Dan? Do you think we're going to be seeing many changes?
Possibly. I'm just thinking, depending on how Fulham set up, Nick, you'll obviously know, and Sam, you'll know a little bit more better than me, how they will set up, because I've always seen Fulham under Marco Silva, as a team who counter-attacks. So if they are still counter-attacking, then, like I said before, having your main creators in there. If it gets to a point where Fulham are just defending the box, like, just get your main creators on, that's all, and get Mount on. Is it me, or having... So when I've seen teams on the edge of a box, having 5 United attackers or players just across that front line, the 2 10s having, and I like what you said, Sam, about having Amad and Mbeumo there possibly. We've never really had those players who are small, intricate players who can receive the ball, maybe take a touch, go around and shoot straight away. It's always been, let's get the ball, see if I can take on my man, and if I can't, I'll pass it back, or I'll try and cross it into the box, and it's never worked. So I feel like having 2 very similar but different types of players that we've not seen before in those positions could be quite good on the turn. I could be wrong.
You probably are wrong, yeah.
So do you mean like Amad, rather than him being touchline winger, come inside in the 10?
Yeah, inside.
Yeah. Could, and then like below could give you your width. Rather
than say like a Bruno there, someone's who's a bit quicker on the ball.
I think we'll see. I think if you are coming up against a low block, you're gonna have to be really fluid anyway. Like, you're gonna have to move about. Like, where I'd love to see Kobe in that position that you just said there. Like, remember the goal against Liverpool. That's where I love to see Kobe Mainoo, and I expect to see him there quite a bit in this game. By the way, sorry, Sam, before you go, Antonio Silva is a real guy. I can confirm. He's a 22-year-old centre-back from Benfica.
Well, there you go, Antonio Silva. Of course he is. We were trying to sign him, but we weren't. But anyway, we'll reach out to Antonio Silva. We'll let him know you got a shout out in the pod. He'll be really happy with that. But something I'd actually like to see as well is some shots from outside the box. I think that's also quite a good way. Not saying pepper the goal, but try and shoot early sometimes because it can disrupt the system. And an early goal pretty much negates the low block. And if you get an early goal, they can't fucking low block. Like, you take it out. I mean, I suppose technically you could, but no one really does when they're 1-0 down, because you're 1-0 down. You kind of take the whole game plan out. So if Maguire, if you get a header within 2 minutes, bury this one. But right, let's get our predictions in. Dan, I'm going to come to you first. Are you predicting 3 from 3?
I am. I'm going to say 2 on United, last minute winner, slabhead, back post.
I am going to agree with Dan in that Michael Carrick is going to continue his undefeated streak as interim manager. I think we concede 1, and I think we concede it on the transition, but I will go 3-1 United.
3-1. Ooh. Don't know why I made that noise. That just came out. Sounded like fucking Zoidberg. Anyway, I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going 2-0. Honestly, if I was going to say the thing I've been most impressed with in these last two games is we have shut City and Arsenal out. We shut like the two best attacking teams out. Now, we might lose a little bit of focus on that if we're trying to have more possession. That's what I mean. I'm curious as to see how we approach this game. Because how we have approached City and Arsenal is not how we can approach the next 15 games. And like Nick said there, I think it might, whether it's a game plan for each game, I think that's kind of how you should be as a manager anyway, really. You might have a preconception, but you're going to go into a game. Ultimately, United should reach the point where we're so good that we go into the game forcing the opposition to adapt to whatever we're going to do, which is what the best teams in the world do. We're not that team yet. So we're going to have to go into every game thinking what can they do to hurt us and maybe setting up to expose those weaknesses. I get the feeling we might see Šeško in this starting 11 simply because of the set pieces and the fact that I think crosses will be important. And if crosses are important, then you're probably going to want a left footer at left wing. I don't know, but I don't think there's any way that Cunha doesn't start after the Arsenal winner. So I have no idea what the actual starting 11 is going to be. I think it's going to be a tough one to call. But we've got 3 from 3 here. I'm going 2-0. You're going 2-1, 3-1. Oh, jeez. I'll take that. 3 from 3. Going into, what is it, Spurs next?
Yeah.
Getting Thomas Frank sacked. Oh, see ya.
Mate, he needs to not get sacked before we face him.
Who
No
have
in
Spurs
our
got
luck.
this weekend?
No in our
They got
luck.
City.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
really?
Is that Spurs?
Yeah, it is.
Well, City's record at Spurs isn't very
I know,
good.
but
So.
Spurs can't buy a win at home.
I know, yeah,
So
that's
mate,
true.
Two
Yeah.
bad records up against each other.
Don't tell me I'm sitting here bloody support. No, draw. Stinky draw. Stinky 0-0.
Yeah, stinky
Yeah.
draws nice.
Yeah, one of those ones where like one shot on target from Spurs in the 84th minute. That's it. Stinky. That's what we want. And a little injury to Van. Is Van de Ven injured?
He is.
Ah, it's a shame.
Well-
Well, you can't injure him then.
He's not. I don't know if he'll be injured when it comes to United, but he's injured for today's Champions League game. So we'll see.
Shame. Right, but look, that was a good pod. I enjoyed that. We're going to be back on. Well, the pod will be out next Monday. This is going to be out on Thursday morning. So enjoy that. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully, anybody who's going to the game, go to the protests. Be peaceful. Be loud. Get your hoods up. Come on.
Yeah,
Look
go
like
on, Nick.
scallies.
Get your cap on.
Come on,
Nah.
Nick.
Not
Yeah,
like
Dan didn't get- we sent Dan a little memo. Was like, mate, make sure you wear a black hoodie for
Yeah.
this pod, man. Like, we've got to look dangerous.
I'll be there on Sunday wearing a black. There,
We're saying, Dan, look dangerous, and he's popped up in an Umbro shirt, like least dangerous dude in the
rolling
world,
back to
man.
the 90s. Yeah.
Right, look, we'll wrap up the pod. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can, leave a 5-star review, whoever listened to it, and we'll be back after United beat Fulham and make it 3 from 3. And Carrick's at the wheel. He's not at the wheel. He's at a mothership.
Ooh, I like that.
We like that. We like that.
Came up without a spot. See ya.